Hello, everybody, and welcome to the DATAcated show. We are live here today on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. And we're going to talk about something called Domo. So it's a business intelligence tool that we're going to learn a little bit more about today. But essentially, we're going to talk to Aaron King, who's going to tell us all about going from data to dashboard with Domo. I'd like to start out by asking the audience, as you're joining, let us know, do you currently use Domo or have you heard of Domo before? Just let us know in the comments so we'll know kind of who's in the audience and we'll get a better sense of what level everyone's at. The other thing I'll let you know is Aaron is an instructor at the DATAcated Academy. He's actually developed a course called Data to Dashboard with Domo, and we're going to talk a bit about that today as well. Those in the audience have a chance to win a course of the Data to Dashboard with Domo course. All you really have to do is just type in hashtag Domo to enter to win, and we're going to announce one winner about halfway through the session and then another winner towards the end of the session. So yes, as you're joining, say hi. I'm going to go ahead and bring Aaron up on our virtual stage here. Hello, Aaron. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Kate.
Happy to have you here. We already have some people jumping in and just for now saying hi. So guys, as you're joining, let us know, have you used Domo? And also just put hashtag Domo so you can enter the raffle. Aaron, what I really like to get started with is for people who are not familiar with you, please provide a brief introduction.
Okay, well, a brief introduction of myself. First, my name is Aaron King. I'm a consultant. I own my own company called Fusion 75. And what we do is we help companies primarily who do digital marketing, but really anyone who deals with data. We help them get their data from A to B. And so A to B could be getting data from the source into a database or a data warehouse, or even from the source into a visualization. So you can actually make decisions off of all of this data that comes from all over the place. So I do lots of automated reporting and marketing technology integration, things of that nature.
Great. So Fusion 75, tell us about the name. Why Fusion? Why 75? And then how did you get started with this company?
Sure. So the name Fusion 75, Fusion, it means to bring things together. So bring two different things together. And in the data world, that's something that we are always doing all the time. So that's where Fusion comes from. Mm-hmm. And then 75 with the theme of connecting things together. 75 happens to be the name of the highway or the interstate here in the U.S. that connects my two hometowns together of Detroit, Michigan, and Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, wow. Very interesting. I'm glad I asked this question. I thought it was like your birth year or something. People put their birth year. Okay, cool. So we've got a bunch of people just hashtag Domoing here, entering the raffle, just saying hello. I noticed a few comments saying that people are new here. Nabil's hearing about Domo for the very first time. So I think we can get started and just tell people in your own words, what is Domo?
Okay, great. So Domo is a cloud-based business intelligence tool, but it's not just a BI tool that will only visualize your data. It can act as your data store, your ETL or extract, transform, and load tool. It's basically a one-stop shop for everything from connecting to data to visualizing and sharing and engaging with the data, and also making sure that stakeholders have the ability to comment, collaborate, and provide feedback right there without leaving the platform. So it's really an all-in-one solution for business intelligence and collaboration.
Okay, awesome. And I know Domo is not as commonly used as something like Tableau and Power BI. So I wanted to get a sense from you of how did you get started with Domo?
Yeah, that's a great question, Kate. So how I got started, I was working in a vice president role for a marketing agency here in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And over the years, we faced the challenge that many other companies face, where you have all of this data all over the place, and you have people spending hours copying and pasting in the spreadsheets. And we didn't have like a dedicated data team in house, or we didn't have like data engineers or data scientists. We literally had people who were managing campaigns, also responsible for putting together reporting. So in our quest to actually solve this problem through automation, we took stock of kind of our own situation, and we said, okay, we need a platform that is not just one visualization tool, or it's not just dependent on hiring a person who is like a database administrator, or someone who can manage servers and all of that stuff. Like, we didn't have that capability in house, nor did we want to take on the cost of the extra human capital. And then because we had tried in the past to actually solve this problem, but every time we solved it with a person who was managing a database, and then whenever they left, knowledge left with them. Right. So we wanted a platform that was truly cloud-based and could survive and outlive whoever implemented it. So that's how we landed on Domo. We needed a platform that was kind of all in one, that allowed us to automate our reporting from beginning to end.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, thanks for sharing that. And my next question was going to be around how this compares to competitors. And we've got some questions in here, like, is Domo the same as Tableau? Or Mohit's asking, how is it different than Power BI? I know a lot of these tools are so similar these days that even Gartner came out with a report, a few months back, saying that we're no longer looking at these BI tools just for their, how can they come up with a chart or a dashboard? They're looking at all these capabilities that go beyond that. So what would you say are the main differentiators of Domo?
Sure. And yeah, Domo versus, let's say, Tableau, or versus Power BI. Those are the two that kind of come up most often when wanting to compare. And so I'll say this, that Tableau, Power BI, those tools have started out primarily with a strong visualization layer, and then that is a layer that's sat on top of your data that's already prepped and connected. Mm-hmm. Whereas Domo, I think it's more forward looking, or kind of ground up in the approach, where you connect all your data, like, before you even think about creating a nice dashboard. Like, you need to connect and prepare your data. But everything is right there within the platform for you to do so. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's a bit of a different philosophy. Mm-hmm. And also, there are different features within Domo that allow you to send messages and collaborate. So let's say that you're looking at a particular chart, and a stakeholder may have a question on that specific chart. Like, you don't have to go back to your email and send a separate email and say, hey, look at this, and then go to another link. Like, you can ask a question right there, and then whoever created it will be alerted to it. So there's that. There's other things like alerts, which, if let's say that you are tracking a budget in a particular visual, and your cost is inching closer to your budget or may exceed your budget, you can actually set up alerts that will ping your phone, send you an email, send you a push notification in the Domo mobile app. So it's like I say, it's kind of an all-in-one solution that goes just beyond visualization and charts and graphs.
Yeah, that's really cool. I love the collaboration and the alerts, because people don't really have time to just keep looking at a dashboard to say, hey, did something change? What changed? Do I care? Should I care? So if I can get an alert that says, okay, this is something you care about, go look at it. I think that's really helpful. We had some more questions come in. Mohit's asking if there's any documentation available on Domo, and Jason actually responded to him saying there's a site with a link, so domo.com/help center. Not sure if that's where you were going to point people, but
Yes, yes. The help center of Domo is actually a very good resource because it links to Domo's own internal documentation, that's written and maintained by Domo. But also, I believe that there's a link to the dojo, which is Domo's user community. So every time a user has a particular question that is above and beyond what's in the documentation, there's a good chance that you can find either, if not the answer, some possible solutions, or else like people have requested a feature, and this can be found in the dojo, which is the user community.
Okay. And just to do a little plug there, if people want to learn how to use Domo, they can also check out your course, Data to Dashboard with Domo, at the DATAcated Academy. Speaking of which, #Domo to win the course. We've got plenty of questions coming in here. Let's see. There was one around pricing and whether or not there's a free version. I think there is a demo version you can use, right, for Domo?
Yes, there is a free trial that is fully featured. You can use it for 30 days. But then, like, beyond that, there's not a forever free version. So you would have to pay, and it's thought of more of as an enterprise tool. So you generally have to contact Domo for pricing, and they'll work with you on specifics like how many users would actually need to view data, if you're actually embedding data into like a web app or a portal, like there's different pricing for that. So it's really based on your particular use case.
Okay, that's very helpful. Thank you. We've got Mike Nash here with a question. He's asking, can Domo allow cleaning of data, or does it need to be cleaned before receiving? Since you mentioned all-in-one before, I'm going to assume yes, but I'll let you go ahead and respond.
Yeah, no, that's a fantastic question. So Domo allows you to actually clean and prep your data right within the platform. And there are a number of different methods. One, or I guess a couple of which I do cover in the course. But if you are familiar with SQL or MySQL or Amazon Redshift, there are options for cleaning your data using those languages. There's also, which Domo's arguably most powerful feature is called the Magic ETL tool, which is a visual ETL tool that allows you to transform and prep your data right within the platform. So all of these different things, whether you need to find and replace text, if you need to replace based on a regular expression, if you need to join two data sets together, if you need to append data on top of one another, if you need to convert text to a number or number to text or text to a date, like you can do all of those different operations within one of their different many data prepping and cleaning tools that are right there within the platform.
Sounds like magic, Aaron.
I guess that's why they call it magic.
Yes. So let's talk about the course. Let's start with who do you think is the best person to take this course, and what would a person be expected to come away with after they complete the course?
Sure. I think the ideal person to take this course is really anyone who anticipates or knows that they're going to be using Domo for something. Maybe you're trying to get a new job with an employer who uses Domo. Maybe you use, or maybe your company uses Domo and you want some extra resource to get onboarded quickly because you haven't been exposed to it before. But it's really for beginners, people who had limited or no exposure to Domo.
Mhm.
And I'll say this, like, while it's a great platform and there are lots of great resources out there, as with any platform, it can be kind of intimidating, once you log in, because there's just so much that you can do, so many places where you can go. So this course, it breaks it down, and it's practical in that you can go literally from a spreadsheet into a nice dashboard visualization.
Mhm.
And as some of the other courses on the DATAcated Academy show, like, you go from data to dashboard, but this within Domo, it it gives you a few more options, and shows you a few ways to approach the same problem, because within Domo there are many ways to do things. And so I'm not just giving you one option, like I'm giving you a few different ways to attack the same problem. And then over time, as you get more and more comfortable, you can draw back on this experience from the course and say, well, okay, maybe I can use Magic ETL this time. Maybe I can use a calculated beast mode formula this time. Maybe I can use a data fusion this time. So this course is for beginners who know that they are going to have some exposure, or want to improve upon their self-sufficiency, or just understanding how to work through the Domo interface.
Yeah, thank you. I think it's also really helpful, like you said, to go through the course before you're actually touching the tool, or maybe as you're
Mhm.
learning, because sometimes you don't know what's actually possible, right? You might get this tool and click around. I know
Right.
for the longest time, I didn't know that some things were possible in some of these tools that I used until I saw either a course or a YouTube video or just somebody else doing it. And I'm like, oh, wow, I've been wasting all my time doing it this way when there was a much quicker way.
Right.
Um, so really excited. Before we go on to any more questions, I do want to do that the first giveaway here. So I'm going to share my screen and just remind everybody that hashtag Domo to enter the raffle. If you don't win this first time around, keep typing that in. And we're going to do another giveaway at the end of the session. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and click draw and identify our very first winner of the Data to Dashboard with Domo course. All right. Congratulations to Alex. We will reach out to you. I'm just taking notes so I can go ahead and follow up right after the session. We'll reach out to you after the session and make sure you get access. But congratulations. I see more hashtag domos are coming in there. So we're going to run this again at the end, but I'm going to go ahead and scroll a little and go back to some of the questions we had come in. Mohit was asking, how good is Domo with database connectivity or with Amazon S3?
Yeah, that another fantastic question. So Domo out of the box connects, I believe, to, at this time, maybe 700 different sources, many of which are open API sources that are already pre-built. But you can also connect to your S3 storage or any other database, BigQuery, Redshift database, Microsoft SQL Server, you name it. And not only can you connect to something that is cloud-based, but if your company has on-premise data, you can also connect to that very easily and reliably as well.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. And following up with a slightly different question from Mahesh here, how does it interface with programming languages?
Good question. So Domo has it has capabilities to work with Python and R,
Okay.
which, depending on your use case, like there's the use case where you may have data on your desktop or on a server, and you can use just write some Python code to send data up to Domo, or it can bi-directionally work as well too. So you can use your Python code to bring it back via the Domo API. So it works with programming languages. Also, to touch on this in conjunction with the previous question, if you have a particular data source that is not currently supported by Domo, you can build your own connector and also use programming language of your choice in order to move data back and forth. So basically, if you have data and it's somewhere, you can get it into Domo however you need to get it there.
One way or another, Aaron, we're getting that data in there. Got it.
That's right.
All right. Awesome. It does sound like an all-in-one tool, so that's pretty cool. We had a question here from Phil, and he's saying, I heard you say it's more of an enterprise tool. Is there a Domo option for SMBs? I'm currently consulting to a small organization that would like to allow their clients to see KPIs.
I would say medium to large size. Like, it's not for everybody. There may be like an option for smaller companies if you use less data.
Mm-hmm.
For example, like I don't have the numbers off the top of my head, but I know that at one point they were pricing based off of like numbers of rows of data consumed. So that may be an option, and they may work with you on that. And even if you want to, you can actually follow up with me. I'm a Domo go-to-market partner, and if you want to follow up with your specific use case, I can talk with my contacts over there and just see see how it would fit for your scenario. So if you do want to reach out, you can reach out directly on LinkedIn or email me or whatever, and we can go from there.
Perfect. Okay. Do you want to share your email? Or do you prefer just people reaching out on LinkedIn?
Sure, we can share it. That's fine. If I can maybe put it in the comments.
Yeah, you could try. I'll also put it on LinkedIn once you put it there.
Okay.
Let's see. We can also send it out after if you'd like. Oh, Phil said he'll ping you, so that's good.
Okay, great. Well, yeah, we can just maybe put it out on LinkedIn. That's fine.
Yeah, I don't want you to be spammed or anything. Sometimes you put your email out there and then 50 other things just come through. You're like, I wonder how this happened. So
yeah.
Okay, awesome. There's a question here from Deepak. He's saying, assume that a person is new to data analytics. Would you recommend that he or she consider investing time in upskilling in Domo? Is it the next big thing in the data viz space? The reason he's asking is, there are many more tools in the field that we can actually cover. So I guess the career prospects for Domo.
Yeah, that is a good question. So, as with really any tool, like I would advise against actually just learning a tool just for the sake of learning the tool. Yeah. So if you're new to data analytics, like Domo is a good option for you to learn because you can learn many of the principles that will help you learn data analytics. Because I'll say this, like, I'm by trade, like I was never a programmer or database developer or anything of that nature. Like I started out in marketing. So Domo was, it was something that I had learned along the way, and it helped solidify the foundation that, I had over the years, just based on some needs based on my own use cases. Learning Domo, like it's a great platform to learn, and it, like I would say that the skills are transferable once you learn, if you learn Magic ETL within Domo, then that helps you learn how to work with ETL platforms that are outside of Domo, or just the principle of moving data back and forth. So it is a it's a good thing to learn, but just make sure that you are focused with the end in mind. That okay, there's many things that I can learn in this tool. Don't just limit yourself to Domo. Think about, okay, I've learned this in Domo. How would I apply this if my next role uses Tableau, or if my next role uses Data Studio, or if my next role uses some other platform?
Right. I absolutely agree with that. I think there are so many tools available out there, and it's hard to say which software your next employer will be using, right? So some of them will be using, 5 different tools. I have seen that. And it really helps if you get started with either one, Domo
Mm-hmm.
included. If you can get started and learn some maybe visual best practices, or how to build a dashboard, how to build charts, getting an understanding of when to use which chart, data storytelling. Once you have all that, and in any of the tools, it really is pretty simple and easy to go to another tool and just kind of learn where those options are in the other tools. They're very similar
Mm-hmm.
in that case. All right, I want to shift over to talking about dashboarding and just hear some of your advice, your tips, or maybe your process of how do you personally go from data to dashboard.
Okay, great. So with Domo specifically, I'll answer this question.
Mhm.
Um, with Domo specifically, I would recommend that you have a good understanding of your overall look and feel and template before you start building everything out. Because Domo's foundation is more about getting the data and getting it prepped and then visualizing it, versus visualizing and then filling in the gaps. So it's best to have an idea how you want your dashboard to look, and then you can uh, start to answer those questions within your dashboard and fill in your template with visuals, which Domo calls cards,
Mhm.
based on the data that you've already brought into the platform and prepped. And then really from a overall platform agnostic perspective, my number one tip is to sketch it out on paper before anything. So sketch it out on paper, understand the questions that you want to answer with
Mhm.
each visual, and then go and create your visuals within the dashboard, and start populating everything there.
So I want to get to know a little bit behind the scenes of that logic. Why should we start on paper first? Why shouldn't we just go
Mhm.
into the tool? Which I recommend the same thing, but I just want to hear
Yeah.
your thought process there.
Yeah, I think just getting it out on paper, there's been all kinds of like psychological studies that we can all look up, that say that your brain actually reacts better to
Mhm.
when you are putting things down on paper, and you're forcing yourself to focus on how something is actually communicated from your brain outwards. So putting it out on paper, it it helps you, I guess, focus on what needs to be done,
Mhm.
versus, I mean, even sketching it on your computer is not as effective as putting it on paper, or sketching on your whiteboard. So just kind of a focus, or Jedi mind trick type of thing, to actually sketch it out before diving right in.
Yeah, I've definitely heard of those reasons as well. I think I'll add one more, which is something I read in a book that I forgot the name of, but it basically has to do with our attachment. So if you build something, let's say in Domo, you took the effort of actually building it, let's say designing it, adding the right colors and all that stuff. you have this attachment to it, and if it's wrong, you can throw out a piece of paper, or you can just
Yeah.
scratch it out and keep going, right? Or erase it if it's a pencil. But when you've built something, either in Domo, Tableau, Click, or even PowerPoint, you become kind of attached to it where you don't want to destroy it anymore. And you can't really start, you can't be a free thinker anymore, because now you're like, this is it. I built it. We're done.
Right.
You can't shift too far from it.
Oh, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. And Mike has some comment here. And working out on paper gets you to focus on goals rather than simply shaped by the platform. So we're all on the same page here. So that's good. All right, I think it's time for us to announce our second and last winner of the Data to Dashboard course, and then I'll just ask you one last question, Aaron. But I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again, and we're going to go ahead and run this raffle. So hashtag Domo to enter to win. And let's see who our second winner is. Sometimes it picks the same person, which is pretty funny. So we're going to have to... Ah, there we go. Mohit, congratulations.
All right.
Yay. Mohit Sharma. We're going to reach out to you afterwards. So, all right. Thank you guys for participating in the raffle. You'll get access to the Data to Dashboard with Domo course later on today. I'll make sure to follow up. But as we wrap up, Aaron, I do want to ask you, where can people go to continue this conversation if they have questions? I know you mentioned that you're the go-to marketplace. I don't know if I said that right, for Domo, a provider, right? Marketplace provider. But either way, where can they go to follow up if they have questions on how to get Domo implemented in their companies or anything else on Domo?
Sure. You can reach out directly to me on LinkedIn.
Okay.
And I'd love to just talk with you if you have any further questions about Domo. Also I have a little bit of info on my site that briefly explains Domo and how to get started. So I guess after our session here, I can comment, like once you post on LinkedIn, I can comment with a couple of links that link to some resources I've written on Domo. But I'd love to just hear from folks who are interested in the platform and just interested in data and dashboards and all that stuff in general.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Aaron, and thank you for those who've tuned in to hear this conversation live, or if you're watching the recording, thank you for sticking around. I wish everyone has a great rest of your day, your week, and I will see you all online. So thank you, Aaron, again for your time.
Okay, thank you, Kate. Thank you, everybody. It was a pleasure.
Bye.
Bye-bye.